Welcome, everyone, and welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm very excited to show you 20 notes that I just got back from PCGS. I did have to go ahead and open this box because I needed to remove the plastic, covering that's on the slabs. So you don't have to look at that. I do have a website for those of you that may not have heard about it. It is scobsoletes.com. If you have not checked that out already, please take a few minutes to do so and click around. I have a lot of information there. Let me just say hello to everyone and we'll get started. Let's see. Thank all of you for being here. There's Dean. I see Peter. I see Jeff Davis. Hello, everyone. I appreciate you guys being here. Now, excuse me, I won't delay any longer. So let's get going. This first note is from the Commercial Bank of Columbia. This $50 bill is graded 15 details by PCGS. It's actually a fairly common note for $50 obsoletes are usually hard to come by, but at this bank they're not really that rare. But I've been fortunate enough to find 2 of these, so I pick them up when I can. Next, we have this very nice Farmers and Exchange Bank $5 bill. This one graded 30. You don't usually see, or at least I don't usually see, circulated obsoletes, in this grade. You don't usually see them above about a 25. So even when you get to 30 and higher, that's a little bit unusual. You can see the workers in the field and the wagon being pulled by the team of oxen. Got Calhoun over here on the right. And this is, I believe, Franklin Elmore, who was a senator and governor, and who I believe had passed away shortly before these notes were issued. That's a good note there. Oh, and I almost forgot, that one does have a hint of a back on it, which you don't usually see on obsoletes. All right. Next, got this beautiful $10 note from the Bank of Hamburg. I just love the colors on the Hamburg notes, like the vignette. Woman at the well, and see the dog greeting the man, and I like things. Next, we have this $20 note from State Bank, South Carolina, from Charleston. The center vignette, we are told, is Venus. And of course, have Benjamin Franklin and George Washington. So it's graded 25. Very, very nice note. Has the red, orange 20 overprint. I'm told you can find these without the overprint, though I've never seen one. Well, that's something to keep your eye open for. This $20 note is from the Exchange Bank, Columbia. Vignettes on this one is, let's see, that's Faith, Hope, and Love over here on the left, and Liberty Seated. So an early version of Liberty with the eagle and the shield. And that's former Governor McDuffie. Again, a 25. That's a nice note. Let me take a moment here again to thank everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. And here we go, Dean. There's a nautical scene for you. Steamer and sailing ships. Over here on the left, we're told that's a mermaid and a merman. Okay. Of course, statue of Calhoun. This one's a 20. There we go. And it settled down a little bit. Now, this next note, a little rarer note here, is from the People's Bank. Um, let's see, I think we have faith, hope, and love again over here on the side. Mechanic with hammer and unknown lady here on the right. Don't see these as often. This is a little bit rarer note. Notes from this bank are kind of hard to come by. The thing that I thought PCGS would mention, but they did not. I don't recognize this signature. EP Star, it looks like. I have no idea who that is. The Loper signature on the left, I do recognize, and there was a president name whose last name was McKay, and I believe that's the only cashier and president this bank ever had. So, not sure who that is. Maybe something funny or other going on with the signature, but I do believe the note is real. This one's graded 15. And though I believe that note is real, I know this note is counterfeit. They even say so here on the slab. It's contemporary counterfeit. The real versions of these are really hard to find. Got a former vice president, W.R. King. And one of the ways you can tell this is a counterfeit note, the quality of that portrait is pretty poor. If you saw a real one, you would see immediately what I'm talking about. I like the mason at work over here on the right, too. That's pretty cool. Again, a contemporary counterfeit. Next, I have a $100 note from the Commercial Bank of Columbia. Taking a look here at my notes, says you have music, goddess of music over here on the left, liberty and commerce in the center, and you have justice over here on the right. So a lot going on in this note, dated 1849. This one's graded 15, details. And you know, really, I thought this note was a little nicer than 15, but hey, I still like it. These are not as common. Don't see as many of the hundreds. You recall, I showed you a 50 earlier from that same bank. Now this if I probably had a home run in the group, it's this note. This came back a 63. I bought this note raw. I think I paid $80 for it. And I would have been happy to get a 50, but they said it's uncirculated. I'm very happy about that. Dean, here's your ships again. So really happy about this note. Seems there's a little wear going on here with the ink. In fact, it says ink bleed is the comment on it, but I still gave it a 63. So this was a very special to me to get this. Very nice note. Very popular note. You also see this vignette on some other banks as well, but that's not an expensive note either. So another Bank of Hamburg note. These 50s, I really like $50 bills. I guess you guys know that if you watch my channel. This vignette in the center is sort of inspired by the, I believe, state coat of arms of Pennsylvania. So that's unusual to see on a South Carolina note, but I like it. I love the colors. This one graded 20. Now, let me take a moment here before we talk about this note. Take a look at the comments here. Amazing signatures, gorgeous. What is the earliest South Carolina obsolete you have? I'll have to think about that, Dean. Good question. Might have to answer that next time. I do have a couple of notes from the 1820s, about 1825. So that's probably the oldest I can think of anyway. Hello, Darren. He says he's from Ocala, Florida. Enjoy your information. Thank you very much. He's asking about paper currency. Says he's going to be here next month. Well, if you were here in October, Darren, I would say come to our state show in Greenville. That will be at the last weekend in October. And it's about, I think, 200 tables, over 100 dealers in Greenville, South Carolina. That'd be a good place to find some currency. This is a T24 Confederate note. I bought this note mostly just for the color. It did come back a 25, which is a very nice grade. The gentleman on the left here is Robert M.T. Hunter, who served as a U.S. representative and senator. He was also Speaker of the House. Later, he would be the Confederate Secretary of State and a Confederate senator. He was also known as a critic of Jefferson Davis. After the war, he would serve as Virginia treasurer. So he was a busy man in his life. Anyway, like I said, just bought that for mostly the colors. Same thing here, though the color's a bit faded. This is a T22. And I may not be pronouncing this quite right, but the goddess over here on the left is Thetis, goddess of water. And you have a Native American family here in the center. And the lady on the right is described woman with an X. So, okay. These big cancellation holes in it, but I thought they were strategically placed on this note. Still made it an attractive note. Also made it a little bit cheaper. This one graded a 12. Let's see, Banknote Den has joined us. Hello, Banknote Den. Hello, Stephen. Thank you for all of you being here. This next note is from the Planters Bank of Fairfield. The lady on the left is called Goddess of Liberty. So all I can say is that must have been an early version of Liberty. Palmetto tree with farm products in the center. Palmetto tree being South Carolina state tree. I like the train and the ships in the distance also. And of course, we all recognize George Washington on horseback. I like the blue overprint on this as well. This one came back a 20. So, very nice note. Hello, retired Navy Rob. Glad you could join us. Next is a $50 bill from the Farmers and Exchange Bank. This one with that beautiful orange tint to it. Have Daniel Webster on the right. This one graded a 25. One of my favorite South Carolina vignettes. I don't know if it'll come through or not, but it's a steamer being loaded at the dock. And there's a whole story behind that steamer, but I won't try to go into that tonight. Let me look and see. Nope. That note is blank on the back. If you can find one with those red scrolls on it, that's a good note to buy. I'm sure everyone recognizes this note from the West River Bank, cherubs and silver dollars. This one came back a 55. I picked this note up at a shop. It's about what I thought it would be. Just love these. And you can find these at many different banks. I know the Indiana Savings Bank use these vignettes, as well as the Union Bank in Augusta, Georgia also use them. And probably a lot more. They're very popular. Nothing on the back. Next, I've got a $4 bill. Sure our friend Dan will like this. From the Bank of Cape Fear, Wilmington, North Carolina. Let's see. This one's payable at Fayetteville, North Carolina. And the center vignette is man seated on ship stocks. It's interesting. You have a cooper over here on the right, making a barrel. This one's graded 15. I like odd denominations like this myself. This is another pretty note. I don't know if the colors will come through as well on, here as it does in hand, but this Bank of the State of Georgia $20 bill. This one payable at Augusta. Now I'm going to have to, I downloaded a little bit of information here. The vignette is of Signer's Monument in Augusta, Georgia. This monument recognizes the state's Georgia's 3 signers of the Declaration of Independence, 2 of which are buried beneath this monument. So that's pretty cool. At the time this monument was built, and I don't know which of these buildings it is, but that was the City Hall in Augusta. Monument is still there. So that's pretty cool, I think. And of course, paid 25% in gold is pretty cool as well. That's what attracted me to this note, as well as the colors, the history. Obviously, someone at some point, probably at the end of the war, settled for 25% of 20 bucks in gold. That's pretty good, I guess. I would think it would be. Think about it. Somebody got a $5 gold piece for that, probably. Pretty cool. Speaking of pretty cool, I just love this note. I bought it mostly for that vignette right there, just an unknown man in a hat. I just like it. I like the colors. I like the cattle, and looks like some sheep on it as well. This is from the Manufacturers Bank of Macon. This came back a 20. No other reason than I just like it. Collect what you like, right? Someone says, love those 4s. Yes, I do. Wow, we've got through these pretty fast. Here's the last one. Good old New England Bank of Fairmont, Maine. This one came back a 58 with a portrait of our, let's see, what was he, 15th president, James Buchanan. This one is signed, so we can assume that it did circulate. Now, what's so interesting about this is there is no Fairmont, Maine, and there was never a New England bank. This is what would be called a spurious note. The note existed, but the town and the bank did not. So that's what makes these very collectible. There's also a $20 bill from this bank. So you can also pick up one of those. And I don't recall this note being expensive either. Someone said love the vignette on the left. It's like maybe a lady bringing lunch to her husband working in the field, maybe something like that, maybe. Just a guess. That's a cool note. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here. I would like to mention one thing. There is a major coin show going on in Dalton, Georgia, which is about an hour northwest of Atlanta. It's going on right now, today, tomorrow, and Saturday. This is a huge show, about 300 dealers. So if you're in the Atlanta area, you might want to check that out. And someone's asking if I'm going to be there. No, I'm afraid I will not make it to that one, but says I'm 40 minutes from it. Well, I hope you get to go and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, Banknote Dan. He says great notes. But do check that out if you live in the area or can travel to that area. Well, like I said, we got through that faster than I thought. I'd like to thank all of you again for being here tonight. And again, check out my website if you will. I always enjoy doing these Thursday night live programs. Please like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for stopping by.